WT6. This is Heartland Focus.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Heartland Focus. I'm your host, Tim Clark. Today is me, myself, and I. I get a chance to talk about some things that's been kind of weighing heavy on my heart and really just toss out some food for thought to stimulate the brain and conversation in terms of what's going on. First of all, just my heart goes out to all the ones that have been affected by the hurricane and just really what's happening, just how it's just kind of has really devastated parts of this country, and we're seeing the effects in New York, and so really coupled on top of all of just these natural disasters, we're still dealing with this insidious virus, with this variant Delta virus, and I think my mom used to say, my mom, she's gone on and to be with the Lord, but she used to always say, God won't put more on you than you can bear, and I really think with what's happening in this country, that really we're starting to see layers of challenges with the fires, the natural disasters in terms of hurricane, and then dealing with a pandemic at the same time. And then you got on top of that, the politics and misinformation that's out there. We're challenged right now. We're challenged as a country. Our democracy is challenged. It's very fragile, what is happening right now in this country. And I think, when you think about Americans and what we do in terms of just that, when it gets tough, we have a way of coming together and putting aside our differences in terms of just our political, Republican, Democrat, whatever. We put that to the side, and where we all become Americans for the purpose and the common good of humanity. I think that's where we need to be. That's where we must be if we're going to get this thing back on track. It has to be not about you, but about us and what can we sacrifice and have the courage and the commitment for a greater good than self. And not Republican Party, not Democratic Party, but it's about the American Party of really what we have to protect in terms of these liberties and justice for all. That's what's in front of us. That's the challenge that's in front of us. And I dare to believe, and very hopeful that we're going to meet the challenge, that there's more good in us than not. There's more people that want to do right, that want to value, that want to love thy neighbor, that want to get up and get out and do what it takes to win, but not at the cost of your brother and your sister. And I think with our democracy being challenged, it's going to take all of us, black, blue, yellow, white. It's going to take a collective effort to come together to win this fight. I think we're in a war right here in America. And what is that war? That war in terms of social justice, inequalities, a war against the things that's in front of us that's trying to tear us apart. We got to fight. We got to fight. And I do believe that, yes, we can. We can win this fight. We can win it. But it's going to take us rolling up our sleeves, sacrificing, and doing what's necessary. And sometimes we just have to look at really be willing to look more at truths than people on social media and all this misinformation out there. We got to follow the science. When you think about, we have years and years of data and practices, and so I just think red is red, black is black, white is white, and you have somebody in front of you that's telling you a red is black and a white is blue. Come on now, we can see for ourselves that white is white, black is black. But sometimes you have this force that's trying to really rewrite history or become very combative and create almost like a civil unrest in this country to do something that is led by lies. That's led by lies, and it's just not right. It's not right. So what can we do? What can we do as individuals to really head off that slippery slope that we're beginning to just really enter into as a country, as a people? With this, creating more tension amongst races and creating this, the whole thing in terms of just one of our rights in terms of just as American citizens. Every single American citizen should have a right to vote, and we should not be creating barriers or obstacles to make it difficult for people to vote. Yes, I want an accurate count. I don't want nobody cheating and doing the kind of things that's going to falsify the results of an election. We have to shore up that. We got to make sure it's solid as a rock, with high levels of integrity and high levels of checks and balances in terms of accountability. That's a must. That's how we really become stronger as a nation, as a people, that we have a system that people have confidence in. Confidence. And you do that by really having layers of accountability. And so I do support that, but I do not support suppressing the vote and doing things to make it more difficult. Leadership matters, right? And we're finding more and more in terms of just, we have to be a little bit more intentional and take the time to properly vet individuals that we put in office. That's both locally, regionally, nationally. We have to put people in office that represent our values, represent what we want to get done, and basically we put them in place to lead those efforts to do the will of the people. So we're still a country that's driven by people. And when we really begin to move away from that, I think we're entering into a very, very dangerous zone and situation. It has to be by the people, for the people, the will of the people. So what can we do? We got to shore up this whole system of accountability in terms of our politicians. That's from state, city, and local. We put them in office to represent us, and so we have to really send a message from the grassroots up that we're going to hold you accountable. We're going to put you in office, but yet we're going to hold you accountable for doing what you said you were going to do in terms of representing the people. So often they get in office and they move away from their platforms in terms of just why they got elected, why we were motivated to vote for them. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. We're going to take a break, and when I come back, I really want to take some time just to honor and really show gratitude to our first responders. And I'll tell you a little bit more about my situation with my dad and being placed in a skilled nursing home facility, what I've experienced. Stay with me and I'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to Heartland Focus. I'm your host, Tim Clark. Hey, I want to take some time, personally, with my mom and now my dad having medical challenges. My dad had a major colon cancer surgery to remove the cancer out of his colon. And it took a toll. It was very heavy in terms of just his body, and it took a lot out of him. And so he's finding himself back into kind of just a skilled nursing facility to help to really rehabilitate him, getting more strength and build his strength up so he's an independent person, and he wants to continue to be independent. But I have to take the time, the nurses and medical assistants and the care nurses. We were at CHI Emmanuel and working with their care nurse for transitioning patients into additional care from leaving the hospital to now that he's at Ambassador Health, a skilled nursing facility. I just have to send a shout out to our first responders, our nurses, doctors, all of our medical staff. I just think it's just unbelievable, just the challenge that you have before you, and just your passion and commitment for care. I just have to say gratitude and thank you. Not only in the midst of COVID-19, but you have, you're dealing with everyday illnesses and challenges on top of that. And I can see just the resolve of the staff of taking care of each and every one of those patients to the best of their ability with the resources they have. And in some cases, being overwhelmed by is just so much. So I want you to know, probably like me, there's many of us out there, we see you. And I want to say we thank you for choosing that career and an occupation to care about others. Your medical emergency workers. I mean, everybody in that loop, in that cycle of care, of health care. Thank you. And I would have to say the same for our teachers. When you think about what's happening across this country of students going back to school, teachers being put in situations where everyone's at risk. And one of the things I just me personally, I think we got to do better as a country, as a system, in taking care of people that take care of us. We don't pay them enough, we don't honor them enough, and we don't show gratitude enough. And so what can we do? I would love to have some ideas from you in terms of just how do we do better by our teachers, our administrators, our individuals that's choosing to serve in the medical field, health care. And then, I mean, look at the sacrifices in terms of our military. We're finding that the essential workers, first responders, when we have crisis, our dependency on those, I mean, we're finding that we were talking about the teachers. Boy, do we know how important teachers are with this COVID-19 and students, and a lot of kids had to be at home, and parents had to find alternative methods of child care. In some cases, they had to become their own child care and work at the same time. Boy, do we need our teachers. And we better start doing better by them in terms of just monetarily, incentives, and packaging. I think, teachers and medical, we got to find some way. Maybe we relieve them of taxes. Maybe we give them a housing allowance, a car allowance. Give them more money to take care of the business. Ain't like they got a lot of time to spend it. When you look at the stress, the anxiety that these type of jobs cause, as Americans, we got to do better. We got to do better by people that are taking care of us. I know just looking at what they do for my dad, if I had to suck it up and, I probably could do it, but it'd be very difficult for me to do that type of work. I just don't have the stomach for it. In terms of that medical care and taking care of individuals that are challenged like that. And so I just, what we're not willing to do, we must be willing to value more and support financially, and giving them tax breaks and giving them allowances. And I'm hearing OPS, I think an anonymous donor donated a gift card to all of the staff at OPS. I'm starting to see that more and more. UNMC, Nebraska Med. We have to figure out as a community, how do we do more to protect and honor and support these individuals that we know that we could not live without. So I love your ideas. I think we need to have just maybe for our we have military appreciation, but military, teachers, medical, anybody that's working in the medical field, taking those risks, we got to figure out a way to pause and celebrate them in a meaningful way, and not just data boy, thank you, but how do we help relieve some of their pain points? So maybe it's a process of really trying to understand what they would value most in terms of showing appreciation. So some of the folks that's in those industries, please email me. I think I have my email out there. You can just email me at tim_clark@cox.net. We'll put that up at the end, tim_clark@cox.net, to get your ideas, especially if you're working in those various industries. How might we show gratitude in something that you will value and appreciate? And also give me your ideas about salary. What can we do to maybe increase your salaries or incentives or bonus. I just think we're just not being good if we don't really pause and look at how we help shore up the confidence of people that take care of us, that we got your back, we got you, right? And a song comes to mind when you think about just what they do to support so many people in this country. And it's kind of like the song that comes to mind. I can't remember who the author of the song, but it's called Wind Beneath My Wings. Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything that I want to be, but the chorus is, did you ever know that you're my hero? Everything I would like to be. I can fly higher than an eagle because you are the wind beneath my wings. So thank you for what you do to make a difference in so many lives. Our teachers, our military, and our healthcare providers and workers. Thank you so much. Firefighters, police officers, thank you. I appreciate you. We're going to take a short break. When I come back, we'll wrap it up with some other things happening in the Heartland. I'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to Heartland Focus. I'm your host, Tim Clark. Hey, I want to just, this weekend, you have the Afro Fest that's going to be taking place. I believe at, what park is that? It's going to be taking place at at Stinson Park, I believe. Stinson Park, yes. And that's, I guess, all things African, diaspora. So food, entertainment, it seemed like it's something for the whole family. This is their third annual festival. Dance, modern dance. They got food. You'll be able to kind of a taste of Africa. They're gonna have vendors there, and I believe it's $10. General admission is $10. Kids 12 and under are free, and so please come out and support this. Because this is, I mean, they almost have to charge because of, to actually put something like that on of this magnitude, to underwrite that, it takes resources. And so come out. This is a way to, and this is part of really, the more we understand each other, the better we're going to be able to get along. The more we take the time to understand each other, the more we're going to be able to get along and have an appreciation for each other. Not that this is not that I got to like you or dislike you, whatever. It's about having a greater understanding and appreciation for someone outside of you. And I think it's good for our families and friends. And so this should not just be, I think the mark of success for this is to see more people that's non-African, non-Black at this event, that we embrace. And I love going to Taste of Italy, Taste of Asian. I love German. I'm well traveled. Used to travel with an international group called Up With People. And I think the more that group was really driven by really creating a vehicle to allow people to better understand each other and appreciate the differences and not become so judgmental. And so I would love to see you guys at Afro Fest. It's going to be at Stinson Park. I guess you can go online and get tickets, and I'm pretty sure you can get tickets the day of as well. There's a lot of events going on. My guy got Sip and what he's got, Sticks and Sip, Copa, and then you got the Red and Black, my man Toomey. So a lot of stuff going on, you guys. That's all for this episode of Heartland Focus. Until next time, do what's necessary to be good to yourself. That starts with, in terms of taking yourself, taking care of the mind, the body, and the soul, and really love thy neighbor. Do what it takes to look outside of you to really help in terms of our mankind and folks that need help, and do it unconditionally. Hey, until next time, do what it takes to be safe out there. I'm Tim Clark, your host. See you next week.